My name is Decap, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I produced Rap Money by G Yamazawa in Ableton Live.
You writing raps, but that poet still snap, don't it? Booking shows, looking forward to the rap money. And all the students in the back love me.
In this episode of Behind the Beat, I'm going to show you how I produced G Yamazawa's track Rap Money in Ableton Live. If this kind of content is helpful for you, be sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new content. Let's get into the Ableton session. So if you listened all the way through to Rap Money, you probably heard the end of the track where it switches up, which is my track called We Did It, which is out now on all platforms. I made that track to showcase my drum kit Drums That Knock Volume 4 when it first came out. So all the sounds in this track are from Drums That Knock Volume 4. So let me show you what I did. Let's start with the drums. For the drums, I literally just took a kick, snare, and hi-hat from Drums That Knock Volume 4. And for the kick and snare, I literally just dragged in the sounds and sequenced them by hand. And for the hi-hats, I loaded them up in simplers and then played them by pitch. And I have a bunch of different hi-hat tracks because it looks like I just did different things with the processing on each one. So let me play you the drums all together. So that's the drums for the track, and the kick I used from Drums That Knock Volume 4 was thump kick, kilo snare, and procedure hi-hat. And the melody in this track, it's called We Did It Strings from Drums That Knock Volume 4. I remember I made this melody at San Francisco Airport before a flight around Christmas time. I made it before the flight was boarding. I listened to it months later and I thought it was really dope, and I wanted to make this track with it and also put it in the Drums That Knock Volume 4. So let me play you the melody. So on the melody, I have a reverb that automates at the end, so you can see this automation lane here. Listen to what it does. So it kind of trails into the next section. And after that, I have a compressor that I used as a sidechain to the kick. You can see here it's sidechain to the thump kick. I cut some of the lows on the EQ. And the 808 on the track is called Tube 808 from Drums That Knock Volume 4, and this is what the 808 sounds like. I'm going to play it from the middle so you can hear some of the glides and stuff. And the way I programmed the 808 is I loaded it up in a simpler, and then I was able to do the glides and the different pitches right from simpler. And so how I did those rolls is I set glide mode to glide, and I set the time to 160 milliseconds. So that means anytime I put a note over another note or under another note, it will glide up or down to that note. I actually have a video on how to do this in Ableton, some different ways you can make glides. So as you can see here, it glides up and then down. And so that's how I achieved those glides. And this is what it all sounds like together. And at the end of the track, also in Drums That Knock Volume 4, I have a sample of Gyrofunk singing, and so I thought it sounded perfect in this track. So this is what it sounds like with all the effects, and then I'll show you without it. And so without the effects, it sounds like this. And so to achieve that effect, first I'm going to actually turn these off and turn them on one by one so you can hear the steps, because some of you asked for a step-by-step process of how I achieved the sound. So first I added a high-pass filter just to cut off the mud. Then I added reverb. Then I added another high-pass filter with a little bit of high cut. Then I added some, then I added some aggressive compression with the glue compressor with a lot of makeup gain. So that really brought out the reverb and thickened it up. Then I added a utility, and let's see, I'm going to show you what the automation looks like on the utility. So what I did with the utility is I'm volume ducking, so it imitates like sidechain compression. So if we zoom in, you can see that the volume hits 0, then goes all the way, the volume goes to -35 and then goes all the way up to 0 continually, and it gives it this effect. And then at the end of the chain, I added a simple delay with the right channel at 1 millisecond and the left channel at 8 milliseconds. And what that does, it gives it a Haas stereo type effect. And this is what it sounds like with everything. So for some of you who've been asking me how I achieved that effect, that should give you a good idea. So now I'm going to get into the first part of Rap Money, and I'm going to show you how I made that beat. So one day I was just messing around with my push, and I decided to just load up a sample and start chopping it. I happened to load up the sample from the last beat I just played you, which is the We Did It strings loop, and I just loaded it up on push and just started chopping. So this is what it sounded like when I was chopping it. So I wanted to go old school kind of boom bap on this track, so I loaded up some drums from Drums That Knock Volume 4, and I made kind of a boom bap pattern, and this is what it sounds like. And this is everything all together. And then I'd use the same technique for the 808. On push, I loaded it in simpler and just played the notes along with the chops and the drums. And so this is what it sounds like with the 808. And then halfway through the track, I loaded up a vocal chop in simpler and also played that on push. And this is what the chop sounds like alone. And then above that, I have a Rhodes that I played with Addictive Keys, which is a super handy plugin. And the Rhodes sounds like this. I played this on the push too. And this is everything all together. And that's it. That's how I made Rap Money by G Yamazawa. Definitely check out the track in the description below. If this kind of content is helpful for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and hit the bell to be notified when I upload future content. Follow me on all social media and leave a comment below. Let me know what was helpful about this video or anything you want to see in the future so I know what content is helpful for you. If you like the sounds in this track, make sure you check out my drum kit's Drums That Knock. These sounds are from Drums That Knock Volume 4. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Behind the Beat. Peace.